Now, for every individual, this eclipse actually occurs in different houses for everybody. So, you need to know that the eclipse, which is actually happening in Aquarius, where is the Aquarius situated from your personalized chart? Is it your first house? Is it your second house? Is it your third house? Or is it your fourth house? So that calculations, or those calculations, you will come to know from your personalized chart. But just for your awareness, I need to tell you that for you per se, the lunar eclipse is happening in the house of Aquarius. And now when I make my monthly predictions, or when I am actually talking about what is going to happen for the different zodiac in August, I also happen to tell a person that, okay, for you, for a particular zodiac, the eclipse is happening in this particular house. It'll be either your first house or affecting your second house or third house, etc. Well, if the lunar eclipse is affecting your first house, well, my notes or what I have to say for it is that it's time to change your image or redefine your personality in some manner. Finding a balance between the autonomy and dependence is what this eclipse is about for you. It means you need to create your independence with interdependence. You need to balance, you need to be independent, yet any individual cannot be happy if he's completely independent. So you have to create your independence while being interdependent, and your emotions are on your sleeve right now. It is a good time to put your needs first, what you want, what you desire, what are your dreams, but at the same time respecting other people's emotions also. So it says your emotions are on your sleeve right now. It is a good time to put your needs first, but doing so with the respect of others will take you further. Whether you can succeed as a leader or not is tested right now. There may be some drama involving a significant another. See, whenever we are trying to put our needs first, remember that there is a party somewhere who may be standing in opposition for you. So how convinced you are of yourself, how convinced you are of your desires, or how convinced you are of the convictions or the values that you want to project. It's a time to be tested now when lunar energy is affecting your first house. For those zodiac signs where lunar is affecting the second house, what I have to say is you may get a cosmic push to make necessary financial changes in your life. Sharing issues come into focus, as do issues of power. What's yours and what's mine? So finances play a big role for those whom the lunar eclipse is affecting the second house. Your comfort zones do matter, and now is the time to take care of your own needs without eclipsing the needs of the others. A financial settlement, the beginning or the end of a particular debt, and other such scenarios can be part of the picture now. So what you need to keep in mind is that I need to focus on my finances, need to see whether I am met with my finances or my needs are met or not. Lunar eclipse in the third house. Well, there may be some sort of drama surrounding communications, mode of transport, schooling, your mobility, neighbors or siblings. See, you suddenly may realize that maybe the communication is not very conducive, or you may have a sudden breakdown of your vehicle, or there are chances there may be some drama in the lives of those people who depend upon you. Having a calm approach during this time and not getting hassled. So how don't you get hassled? Forewarned is forearmed. Transportations can break without notice. They don't give you notice. Sometimes our mind is occupied with certain thoughts, but when we are communicating to the other person, we tend to be a little harsh, and our communication doesn't turn up the correct way it should be. Or somebody who is communicating to ourselves, you suddenly may find that the tone of the other person is harsh. Rather than reacting to a situation, it is important to just be calm and try to understand why the other person is reacting in the way he is. Now, daily routines can change dramatically. That means you should be mentally prepared that disruptions can happen. Now, this is only for these 20 days when the lunar eclipse is happening, and probably attribute when disruptions happen to the lunar energies, that these things are bound to happen. So if I have to go somewhere, I go by keeping a buffer time so that I don't get delayed. Now, there may be a major event in the life of a sibling, and the sibling, see, they say problems are as aggressive or as grave or as big as your age. For smaller children, the siblings are, those problems are very big for those small children. For us, there are bigger problems. Similarly, the problems are more grave according to the age and stage in life. Maybe your sibling is having his own problems. So trying to be friendly to the person or trying to keep away from the person's or your sibling's way is a better option during these lunar eclipses. There could be a publishing offer, or you might be in a position to promote yourself. Now, basically this means when the lunar eclipse is affecting the third house, it is important to get your PR correct. And you have to keep your ears and eyes open that during this time, if I need to promote myself or my work, how do I do it? See, again, this is all related with emotions. It is all related with your inner selves. It's all related when people say that I am not interested in getting into the limelight. I appreciate what the other person is saying, but we all want to be there in the limelight. Only the degrees vary. Some people like it less, some people like it more, some people like it in their circle, some people like to be a little popular in the society that they are saying, some people like to be a little popular in their clubs, and then it comes to the city you are staying in, then to the state level, then to the country level, and eventually to the universe. So the degrees vary. So when August 7th, now you must understand, August is the month of the Leos, where people like to be there in the forefront. They like to showcase themselves. Eclipse is occurring in the sign of Aquarius, aspecting the month of August. It means that if you want to further your business or further yourself, now is the time to do so. So make your plans. Travel or education plans also come to fruition. You might gain an entirely different perspective on matters concerned to foreign education, foreign travel, or even to how you can create yourself inward and outward. The fourth house. Lunar eclipse affecting the fourth house. For those of you where lunar eclipse is affecting your fourth house, domestic conditions are illuminated. So my understanding of the things or of the cosmic is that when the lunar eclipse is affecting the fourth house, it is directly affecting your home front. It is directly affecting the domesticity part of your life. So house repairs, family dramas and other such issues need your attention. The demands of your personal life now are also paramount. Striking a balance between your personal and professional affairs will be needed. You need to spend a lot of energy on your work and on the domestic issues. That means the domestic issues necessarily may not mean interpersonal relationships, but something connected with your home. There could be repairs, there could be renovations, there could be buying of a new house, there could be, all these plans are there. So rather, if somebody puts across these plans, now what happens, lunar eclipse directly hits the inner energies, the emotional energies of a person. Sometimes you are also aware that these things are important and these things are needed. And if somebody reminds us of this, our first reaction is to react back. Either we'll say, yes, I know, I'm aware of doing these things. Sometimes we can't afford it. So we tend to immediately react and say, I can't afford it. Rather than reacting to such situation when somebody reminds you of what are the needs or points you towards the flaws and the cracks concerning your personal or domestic life, don't react. Just give a patient hearing. You just need to understand that yes, these things need to be sorted out, because these are like omens from God, that cracks are appearing at home physically. materially or emotionally, and how we need to rectify them, and so that they don't develop or crack further. So it says that balanced attention to your public and personal life is what you need to focus on now. A major career project can come to fruition or completion if you are emotionally attached and passionate about that. Lunar eclipse in the 5th house. So for those of you whose lunar eclipse is affecting the 5th house, it's good news, because your romantic affair can be tested if you are involved in a relationship. And for those who are already involved in a relationship, it's also a testing time for you. If love is true, there's nothing to fear. The demands of your larger goals in life may have been eclipsing your pleasure-seeking activities. Sometimes a mind, I always call monkey mind, that our mind always plays games with us. Sometimes we get overwhelmed by our own emotions and passions, and maybe the other partner is not ready or not overwhelmed. He may be having, because the partner is also undergoing a lunar eclipse. Now what house is the partner's lunar eclipse affecting? He's getting affected by that. In your case, you are being overwhelmed by your passions, and chances are that the retaliation could be adverse, could be good, could be aggressive, could be suppressive, could be anything. So you should not feel disheartened, because if your love is strong, it will battle through, and if your love is completely weak, then it's time to move on. So it's important for you to know all this, all that it's playing a major part in relationships when it's affecting the 5th house. Also possible, your children may be going through their own changes and stages and need more attention now, or a child could be experiencing a new beginning. This I'm talking about people who have children in their lives. People who don't have children in their lives, you have to be compassionate to those younger than you, or compassionate to your partners. Some might have a new child. This is also a very fertile time, and chances of getting pregnant or chances of bearing a child or conception are large. So a new creative project might begin now. So bearing a child is also a creative project. Starting your own new business is also like your new baby. So anything that you want to start now, the time is very conducive. Doing it in the lunar eclipses or planning it out in the lunar eclipses can further it, and you can execute it probably after the solar eclipse. Lunar eclipse in the 6th house. There could be changes necessary in your job or health routines. You can use this surge of emotional energy to make positive changes to your routines. Now, since it is affecting your job and since it's affecting your health, you need to sit down calmly, and this is a period, actually when lunar energies come, it makes you delve inside, it makes you more introspective, and you need to know where are the changes needed to make your job much more happening or happier. Do you need to change the job? Then you should plan on that. Or do you need to probably do some new things in the job? So make the old into a much more fresher and a newer aspect. You'll realize that you're enjoying the present job also that much more. You need to declutter your office environments, because what happens at this time is that if we are stressed out in a job, or if we are stressed out in the way we are working, it's bound to affect our health. So when lunar eclipse is affecting your 6th house, you need to concentrate on your health and why are the stress levels high, and how you can reduce them through your work or making changes at your work routine. Do something to improve your work conditions if they are annoying you. Get going on your exercise or nutrition program that you know you have in order to feel much more balanced. A work project or a job itself can begin or end now. A physical or mental health issue might come to the light. So don't get alarmed that my health, suddenly I realize that they say a stitch in time saves 9. So if you've come to know that there is something going wrong with your health, you have to first analyze why it is going wrong, and then once you rectify that situation, trust me, things will be much more conducive to you. Lunar eclipse in the 7th house. 7th house always denotes partnerships, and these may be tested, but there is nothing to fear if your relationship is strong. You need to be resilient, especially if you believe in your relationship. And in case if it is not working out, chances are there could be cracks and chances are there could be breakups. But you don't have to fear. It's a win-win situation. If the relationship has not tested the times or tested the tough times, it's a relationship not worth pursuing. But if you have undergone and if you have together shown your bond, then there is nothing to fear. The 7th house represents an important one-to-one relationship, a marriage partner, your significant other, business partner, or an adversary. It's time to strike a balance between your own needs and that of the another. It's time to compromise and negotiate. You might suddenly find yourself with social opportunities, or you might acquire some new clients for your work. So everything, I mean, in a gambit, lunar eclipse affecting the 7th house affects your relationships, whether they are personal, whether they are professional. Either you strengthen the bonds or you strengthen the weak bonds, or if they are too weak and they are holding you no purpose, you just do away with them. In a nutshell, fear not in relationships if you're not fearing yourself. The lunar eclipse affecting your 8th house. So for those people whose the lunar is affecting the 8th house, there is going to be drama in your life in regard to your spouse's income or your taxes and debts. So basically it means finances in relation to outer sources, to other sources, not your own personal finances. There are chances you have not paid your taxes, there are chances you owe money to somebody else, there are chances you may get money, or there are chances you have an eye for your spouse's or your partner's income. So finances which are connecting or which are concerned about the outer sources other than yours. So there are going to be dramas there, and but they will appear on a very mundane level. It may be time to settle some of your debts, financial or otherwise. What makes you feel comfortable and secure needs to be balanced with the attention to the other people's needs and comfort level. You can't just get up and tell your spouse how much income you have, this much money I need. No, you have to sit down and probably sort out your needs, your desires, the demands, and how they can be met with. It's nice to consider how much money you owe to the taxes, or if you have a little bit of extra money to give away the debt so that you become more stress-free, then it is important, and you can do this in collaboration with your spouse's income. And if you have good relationship with your spouse, you could probably sit down and probably sort out that this is what you need, and this is how together you can overcome the financial burdens that are of outside concerns than your personal self. Though indirectly they are concerned with you, but they are on a mundane level. So there can be new money coming into your life. They say this is a time of emotional decluttering. Now and emotions, not only emotions attached to anything. Emotions attached to your finances, emotion attached to your relationships, emotions attached to your business or your job. So it is a time to declutter so that the new and freshness comes in. Lunar eclipse in the 9th house. Now when the lunar eclipse is affecting the 9th house of certain zodiacs, your personal beliefs may be tested. Your hunger for adventure or learning comes into focus. You must have realized at certain junctures in life that suddenly you have a desire to experience something new. You suddenly have a desire to know the unknown. Now that is when the lunar eclipse is affecting your 9th house. 9th house talks of spiritualism, and it talks about things that are more adventurous or more fun. So when the lunar eclipse is affecting this 9th house, it is affecting your energies and your passions inside, which are wanting to be adventurous, which are wanting to learn something new. You want to expand your knowledge. So all of the attention you've been giving to mundane affairs of lives has you wondering when you are going to have some fun. So suddenly you wake up to the fact that you are so occupied or preoccupied with the everyday happenings that you want to break away, have a holiday and have some fun. You want to take a leap of faith now. See, some people are very conservative. They don't want to do things which are outside their comfort zone. So suddenly when this lunar energies come into being and is affecting your ninth house, you also want to test and try what other people have been doing, and you can only do it with a leap of faith. So if you are in a business, a writer or the like, you might reach to a wider audience. See, sometimes we are very good people in our professions or in our work, but if we don't reach out to the wider audience, a thirst remains. Because definitely you want to reach out to the wider audience, you want to reach out and let people know that these are your discoveries, or you want to have fun so that when you are sitting together, let's say with friends, and somebody is talking about their experience, you can feel and enjoy that experience because somewhere in your life you have also experienced the like thing. So now is the time to take a leap of faith and do something which you've been wanting to do but never had the security to do it because there was fear inside. So when the lunar energy is affecting the ninth house, it makes you aware and it also gives you the confidence, it boosts you up to take a leap of faith. Lunar eclipse affecting the 10th house. You may need to review and change your career goals. Career matters come to a head, but as the 7th house from the 4th, so might a personal, domestic, family or house and home matter also concern you. You are called to perform possibly at a moment's notice, and it's best to keep your cool and do whatever you can to show your competence. So this is a testing time for you to test your probably abilities or your capabilities. So when the lunar energies are affecting the 10th house, it actually demands a lot of your concentration and focus, and be ready at a moment's notice. And you should not shy away from it. Though your energies or that undercurrents may be of fear and you don't want to do things because you've been given a moment's notice, but it's actually testing your resilience, it's actually testing your character. So during this period, you are bound to get certain things either from your bosses or from the higher authorities or from the government or even your home people. People who are attached to you, they might just, challenges. In a nutshell, challenge is going to come your way. Should you accept that challenge? My answer is said yes. Please accept that challenge, for now is the time to show what metal you're made of. A lunar eclipse in the 11th house. For those of you whose eclipse is affecting the 11th house, it is affecting the house of friendships, and they may be tested, or your relations group, or your relations to the groups and the organizations that you work for. You're looking for validation from friends and group activities now. They can be a major event involving a child or a romantic partner, or a culmination of a creative project can occur during this time. So this is a time where actually you will realize who are your true friends or who are just mere acquaintances. So lunar energy basically brings in that kind of an atmosphere where friendships are tested, where friendships are tested not one-to-one but in a group or in an organization or in a team. Now this group, organization or team is both personally as well as professionally. It actually shows your place in a team. Are you a leader or are you a follower? And you need to completely know yourself that can you follow this leader? If you can't follow this leader, you have the liberty to politely put it across why you need a better leader. And if you are a leader yourself, chances are that in the group or the organization that you work, your work will be appreciated and you actually come out as a leader for others to follow. Lunar eclipse in the 12th house. Now 12th house is a house of spiritualism again. You may recognize an overwhelming need for rest and spiritual renewal. You've been busy with all sorts of everyday life, doing the mundane things, and you're deeply involved in your work and your routines. Now is the time to balance your life with some downtime otherwise, which means it's a time to reflect on your inner needs, on your inner energies, on your inner space-time, and you simply feel that there is a part of you missing. So now is the time which your emotions are going to force you to reflect and reflect on the path or on the part of you or on the part of your life that you feel is missing, and concentrate on that part. There can be exposure of a private or even clandestine matters in some cases. Secrets can emerge at this time, or there can be a desire to do something private, secret or risky. A work project can come to fruition. Now, should you involve yourself in doing something risky, or should you involve yourself in something doing clandestine, which probably may come out in the gossip columns, or probably you may be exposed to the world? Entirely depends upon your discretion, your liking, and whether you want to be caught or not. So when the lunar energies are affecting the 12th house, so during that period, my advice would be, go ahead and do risky things only if you are not fearing of being exposed. But if the fear is there and you don't want to do it, then I would say rest, relax, and do introspection at this time and see what is the part that is missing in your life and how you can best fulfill it to lead a complete whole life. While I am explaining all these effect of the lunar eclipse in the various houses, that the first, second, third, fourth, fifth house is generalized in accordance to the zodiac sign. Now, how to make it more personalized is that you need to get your personalized chart made, and you come to know where your ascendant was in your personalized natal chart. Having known the placement of the planets in your personalized natal chart, it will be very easy for you to know whether the lunar eclipse is affecting your first house or your second house or your third house. Basically, for everybody, you must know, or you should know, is that this time the lunar eclipse, which is occurring in on the 7th of August, is affecting the Aquarius house. And from your personalized chart, you'll come to know Aquarius falls in which house, whether it's falling in the first, second, third or fourth. So for that, pay attention to your personalized chart.